Hi, it's Jess here from Nigezza Creates. Thanks for joining me today. So excuse the arm. I have had some issues, and today's the first day I've managed to film because I couldn't put my camera in the holder because it requires sort of both hands, and I literally couldn't move this for a couple of days. It's a lot better now, but I'm keeping the support on because it's still not 100%. So anyway, so I recently bought this. I bought it used. This is a retired Stampin' Up set. It's so old, I don't even remember seeing this ever in the catalogue. That's not to say it wasn't in there, because I maybe would have overlooked it. But anyway, I got it secondhand, and yeah, love it. I wanted to make some autumn leaves for my autumn altered book that I'm currently making, and I thought, oh, these would be perfect. I like the fact that they look realistic-ish. So so I stamped them all, and then I cut them out with the dies. And I'm just going to show you here. I stamped them all 3 times, and then the little one I kind of filled in the gaps, and then I die cut it. I have a Sizzits switch, so I mean there's no way I could have used a die cutting machine, a manual one, with this arm. So all these little ones, they were great because the switch goes, you can bring it back, it's got reverse, so it didn't take long at all. And I used I did 2 sheets. I did one in Stays On Jet Black and one in the Saddle Brown, and I thought that there was an issue with the stamps, but it's not. There's an issue with Stays On. I need to re-ink it because the Saddle Brown I don't use as often, and that was really nice and juicy. So these are all the leaves that I did with the Saddle Brown, and they all stamped perfectly. Absolutely no issues whatsoever. Slight issue maybe with my die cutting. It was slightly off, that one. Still got a bit of washi on there, so I hold them in place with washi tape. Anyway, these ones in here are the ones that I did with the black, and some of them weren't very good at all. And as you can see when you compare, that's the ink pad. So I know I watched some people stamp. Some of them were really good. Like the 3rd attempt was better. In most of them I managed to get, you know, a good impression with the 1st attempt. But if you're ever stamping and you get rubbish results, like it's supposed to look like that and it looks like that, it might be that your ink pad's not juicy enough. I do watch other people, and I sometimes think, you need more ink on your pad. That's never going to work. Also, these are photopolymer stamps. So I did stamp them all with the help of a stamp mat. I've got this massive one here. It's like a piercing mat on that side and a stamping mat on that side. It's got this funny mark here because I did use my heat gun with it, and it left that mark. But yeah, so because they're clear stamps, they've got no cushioning, so you need to add the cushioning. If you've got red rubber stamps, they usually have a grey bit of foam with them. You don't need a stamp mat so much, although sometimes it might benefit from one. Anyway, kept that intact because I thought that might be useful. A little bit of a template. Anyway, enough of that stamping lesson without a demonstration. I just thought it'd be boring to watch me do all this, and I didn't want to do lots of taking the camera out and putting it back in, sort of malarkey, because I don't want to cause my hand to have too many issues. So I did it in Stays On because we're going to do some inking. So I've got a cereal liner here, and so I'm going to do bits of inking. So I have got some colours, so I'm going to do some with colours. I've got pumpkin pie, which is more that colour, not the yellow that you can see. I spent ages looking for it because all I could see was that bit on my stamp, and I thought it was yellow. I thought it was crushed curry. So I'm looking all the way around thinking, have I lost it? It's not my favourite colour, but sometimes you need to use it. Mossy Meadow, Cajun Creation, Cherry Cobbler. I've got those with some nice autumnal colours, but I also want to do some a bit more sort of, I thought, vintagey. So I'm going to use some Distress Oxide. So I thought we'd use these, and I've got some, that's quite light in it. I do have I've had these years. I prefer that colour. I've had these absolute years. I bought these for a project about 10 years ago, probably. Yeah, so I bought several greens because I was trying to get a particular green, and yeah, yeah, that's how I've got quite a few. Anyway, I thought this one might look quite good, so I think I'm going to use some Distress Oxide, sort of to give a vintage base, and then I might do something else. So give that a squirty-worty. So let's just see what we get. Yeah, I quite like that colour. That'll do. Just gonna get a little bit something down. And so I wasn't too worried about these miss stamps because I knew I was gonna do some colouring with them. I particularly like this shape, but I say I haven't got any other. I was hoping, I've ordered some oxide sprays, and I sold some journals, so I treat myself to some oxide sprays. Really want to get into more mixed media because I love it, and so I thought oxide sprays would be nice. Anyway, I'm too impatient to wait. Yeah, so that's that. Then I might add a little bit of green on there. I managed to get a bit of oxide on there, I think. There, it's got it all off. So for having had these for years, still plenty of ink in there. Let's move that up there like that. So this is ordinary distress ink, not Distress Oxide. So I'm going to have different effect going on there. So you do have leaves in the autumn that have a bit of green and a bit of brown. They're not all brown, and they're certainly not all green. So that's why I thought this would look good. And I thought it quite nice to have this sort of as a theme running through the journal, different leaves. That one hasn't got any green on it, doesn't look like. And then that one looks like that needs a bit of green. There we go. Yeah, liking how that's looking. Now I'd quite like a little bit of orangey red on there. So I'm gonna mop that up with the cheesecloth, because don't want to waste the ink, and tend to dye the cheesecloth anyway, so oh, that doesn't appear to have any green on it. Yeah, stick some on there, a bit more than I particularly wanted. So I'm going to use this, and then when my sprays come, I'll use it for mopping up sprays, and then it'll get really nicely stained with some nice unique patterns. So push that to one side. So I'm thinking of adding a bit of orange. So let's do my pumpkin pie. There we go. This is a water-based ink. So get a bit of orange on here. Okay. And nicely with the colours on the Rach and Bella papers that I'm using. So I love a bit of autumn leaves. That's cool, like that. And then I just want to add a bit of red to them. So I'm gonna do a bit of cherry cobbler, like this red. It's a nice Christmas red. It's not red, it's got a bit of burgundy in it. I do like it. One of the first ink pads I ever bought of Stampin' Up. So let's put a bit of that in. Liking how that's going. There's bits on this that haven't got anything on it. There we go, it's a bit better. So just look around at the colours you've got. Have a little look out in nature at the leaves, and some of them really are very multicoloured. That one's lost all its orange. You can always go back in afterwards and add a bit more if you want to. There, so that's them. A few little leaf stems, haven't got much on them. There we go. There we go. Liking how they are looking. So let's have a look at some of these a bit closer. And I'm thinking if I need to add anything to any of them. They're quite wet. Right now, but I do like how they are looking, and I might do the odd bit of spray with some of them that have got the oxide on them, then that's going to start activating a bit there. I don't know if you can see on that one. You've got a whole lot of stuff going on there now because it's got the oxide from the just used the brushed corduroy on it, didn't I? That's got the oxide on it. So yeah, liking how that is looking there. So that's like a wet method. So I'm just going to put that to one side to dry a bit better. Got a bit of a glare, which I do apologise for. I wonder if I can just move my light a little bit. That gets rid of the glare a bit. So another way is to add ink with blending brushes. So I've got my blending brushes there. So I'm gonna a bit of Cajun craze here. Just going to test out some of these colours. That's fine. So going to put a bit of ink on here, and I'm just going to come in with this. I do like this as an autumnal colour. Now, I went away on a craft retreat the other week and had a little bit of a masterclass from friends of mine, Verity, stamping with Inky Butterfly, and she had just taught my friend Jane, Craft with Jane, how to use blending brushes, and what she does, she just holds it on the end lightly, and then you just brush it around, and it just gives such a lovely effect. So that's inked up those edges in a way that you'd never do with a sponge dauber. I really like it, and it's all, and you can add more if you want a deeper colour, and you can just keep coming in and adding more if you want to. But I just thought that was fabulous way of adding colour. This is obviously much, I can't even pick this up, much slower method than sort of ink smooshing, but you get a different effect. So I just wanted to give you a wet and a dry method so you could see the difference, and the fact that the one that I used in the wet method hadn't stamped so well. So with the drier method you're going to see the stamping a lot more. So I wanted to use the better images for the dry method, and show that even misstamped items can come out well. So let's do one of each this way, and then we've got the little ones, that one and that one. So that's each of the designs I've got. I live right next to a park, and every single day I go out for a walk, usually with my son on his lunch break, and we always walk around the park, and I just love watching the seasons changing in the park, and I love the leaves falling. I mean, they do get a bit mushy and it does get a little bit slippy, but I do love it. So now I'm coming in with the cherry cobbler to add to this. So now we're getting sort of a much darker there, sort of blending in with the Cajun craze. Right, so don't want it all over, just want it in bits. we're off away for the weekend, and this time last year, we're going exactly the same place we went to this time last year. It was a little family get together, and we went round the Arboretum, the National Arboretum down near Tetbury, and there were some acers there, and they were absolutely stunning, just stunning. And I did pick up a load of the leaves, and then I never dried them. I got home and I had a little plastic bag that I had them in, and I just never added them to my flower press. So now I'm going to do Mossy Meadow. So I just wanted to show that you don't have to use distress inks. Just checking the colours on that. Yeah, that's fine. You can use other inks that you might have. Put a bit of green on there. So we're not planning on going around the Arboretum this year. I think we're going to go to Bath. Haven't visited Bath for a number of years. We reckon about 20. So due a visit, and I'm hoping, because there's so much history in Bath, I'm hoping for some really nice charity shops and junk shops. Might pick up a few bits. Kind of thinking old ephemera rather than books, although if fabulous books do jump out at me that are too good to miss, I will get them, but I'm trying to avoid getting too many books. So there's that. So now I want to come in with orange. This is looking a bit bleh. I don't use it very often, and sometimes it does look like the ink pad's got, sometimes it looks like it's like crystallized or something, but it's perfectly fine usually. Right, so now let's come in with the orange there. So that's taking back some of that redness. I'll probably do all those other leaves later, but I didn't want to make the video too long. I'll go back in with the red on that one. So yeah, so really it's just like get out your leaf stamps and see what you can make. If you don't have leaf stamps, maybe you've got some you know, leaf digitals that you're going to add a bit of ink to. So yeah, you could just keep building up the colour. Like the way that one looks. And I say I do look around the park and I do see some leaves having multiple colours over them. They just look beautiful. There we go. And I just want a little bit more green. So you can see how these are taking a bit longer, but you do get a completely different effect with it. There, so you can get really dark after a while. Build it up. And they do sort of blend together and give you different colours. Do like that really dark, rich bit there. Yeah, I'm thinking that they might actually be done. I might finish off with what I started with the Cajun Craze. I mean, if you just like playing, which is what I like doing, then you can have lots of fun doing this, and then it's just something quite beautiful to put on your journal pages. So I think that will do it. So let's see if the other ones are now dry. It's brushed ink onto them. So if we compare, that with that, I think they look grand. So without any ink, inked up. Without any ink, inked up. These two. Oh. I will put some close-up photos at the end, as I generally do. So we've got that one, and then we've got that one, and then finally that one. It's quite a full stamp, that, but you can still add plenty of colour to it. So now let's look at our other ones. So there's that one. I mean, it hasn't got so much detail in the stamping anyway, but you know, you've got a different look there. There's still a little bit damp. That one, which stamped a lot better, and that one not too different. I'm gonna dry these because then I want to add some ink to them, brushing on some ink actually to finish these off. So I am gonna give these a blast with the heat tool. That's them dried off a bit now. Yeah, they're pretty good. I was just thinking there whilst I was drying them is that maybe I'll use sprays on these ones when they arrive. I can't remember what colours I've chosen, so I'm thinking I might, some of these where there's still quite a bit of white on it, I might add some ink as well, so it's got the other effects on it as well, just filling in those gaps. I quite often do that when I've done a bit of ink smushing, is that you want to fill in some of the white areas a bit. I do like the redness that's on this, which won't get blended away like it did on the others when I added other ink to it. It kind of blended away the red. Well, that's gonna happen to a lesser extent with these. And I say, I think if I wait for my ink sprays to come, then you've got like a third preferred way of looking at these. Of course, this is going to take a bit longer because I got more of them. Oh, that stem's not done at all. It is now. So it's really just where there's white bits I want to sort of fill in. Very autumnal looking, these. Oh, don't really want to bend that. So I'm going to put a bit of green. I think that's the green one. Let me double check. Yeah, it is. I've got on my Amazon wish list a bunch of blending brushes that are all different colours, and I thought I'm going to get them so that I'll use a green one for the green and a red one for the red. Oh, I love that. That's so cool. Yeah, loving how these are turning out. I didn't really think about how it would look. Well, I did think about how it would look, but I didn't have a full vision in my head. I'm liking them. So there we go. That is, put the in the middle there. That is those. And I think that has really enhanced the look of these leaves a bit more than how they were before. They are looking a lot better, I think. And then if we have a look at the other ones, and I say, yeah, obviously the colours are different. This one's better stamped, so you're getting to see how different they look with the different ink effects. So yeah, I am gonna have fun adding these to my autumn altered book. Okay, so my order finally arrived with my Distress Oxide sprays, and I had forgotten what colours I'd ordered. I knew I'd ordered Rusty Tinge, but I'd forgotten that I'd ordered it as Distress Oxide ink pad and not a spray, which meant what I had in my head that I would do didn't quite work out. So I've had a little play, and I put the Distress Oxide ink sort of in the background, and then I've sprayed with that's Gathered Twigs and Ground Espresso. That one I kind of sprayed too hard, but yeah, that's what I did. I actually prefer the autumn leaves that I've done with the other inks that I've got, but I did order a couple of purple ones and a blue one. So I've got Seedless Preserve, Wilted Violet and Uncharted Marina, and I've also got Dusty Concord in the Oxide, Distress Oxide. And then ages ago in some sale I bought the Distress Spray Stain in Salvage Patina, and so I thought I'm going to put that away. That's my little tip there. little bit of Velcro sticky thing there. So it's a way of keeping me the pads. So this is what I've come up with, and I really like it. I love purple, it's my favourite colour, and so I thought, why not do a few purple leaves, and they'll be quite fun. I haven't done a purple journal for ages. Somebody wants to buy the one that I have made, so I need to make another one, because it would look weird if I haven't got a purple journal on my shelf. That's what I think. So I actually have now forgotten what I did. I think I just sprayed, actually. So I've got some leaves here. So I'm gonna put a few down. I've got quite a few of these little ones. So you've got to shake these. They say to shake them from side to side. If you watch Tim Holtz himself, what he does is he just gets a cloth over the top and gives it a good shake like that. And the reason why I put a cloth over the top is it sometimes comes out. This is my cheesecloth mopping up cloth, which is getting lovely colours. So I'm just going to spray this cereal lining. So I'm just going to put some spray on them. Love that colour. Love it. And then you're supposed to clean the nozzle off after every use. So I am. Don't want it to get clogged. Only just bought them. And then I'm going to take the wilted violet. We'll give that a shake. And have a little spray going on there. Wipe the top. And then I thought I'd come in with a bit of blue. Now I did do, this needs a bit of a shake too. I did do some with just droplets, and I did some with a spray. So droplet, I'm missing most of that. It's going everywhere, but a bit on it. So I'm going to just, oh, now that's a problem that I found, that it is possible to get far too much in one go. So there we go. And then I'm just going to move these out of the way. You get filthy, but they did come out quite well with washing. Not too bad at all. And what I did with this lot is I took a bit of vintage encyclopedia and mopped up some of that excess ink, because I don't want it to go to waste. So getting some really nice effects there, which will go nicely in my journal. Leave that over there too. And then I've got some tea dyed paper here. Mop up some more. So a bit of a 2-for-1. There we are. Love it. And a little bit of sort of leaf shapes going on there. And then I take my mop-up cloth, give it a wipe. So my mop-up cloth is going to end up with all sorts of colours on it, but that's okay. And then I'll just get a bit of absorbance, see, here, to cake the rest up. Getting it on my table, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh well. We'll give it a good clean afterwards, it'll be fine. There we go. I do have a box that I spray in, which I perhaps should have used, but I didn't. So there we go. So we've got these like this. And then, because they're oxide, they react with water. So I thought I'd give it a bit of a spray. And you can see there is some things going on there, having added that water, which is grand. Really like that. I'm going to put them just to dry off up there, out of the way. Actually, I might just put them on the other side of this, just in case there's still some ink on it. Right, so that was that way of doing it. And then, that's my little, let's mop up some of that water. See, now that's getting a bit cleaner by just putting water on it. Lift it up nicely. I'm going to take the ink and do a bit of smushing. I know I did that before, but I'm going to do smushing and spraying. So there we go. And then do a bit of smush. There we go. And then we can see the difference between just using spray and using spray and smush. Got lots of little ones here. There we are. So we will just bring our paper in again. Get some of that colour up. This is going lovely there in that corner. Need a bit there. Yep. So then I might take my heat gun to speed up the process. Because, so let's bring in my heat mat. So you can see there's quite a bit of difference so far between these leaves. Let's just drying those off. These ones shouldn't be too bad. But it's these ones that have been smushed in water. There we go. So let's Yeah, liking those. So that's how they've ended up after a bit of drying, like them. So we're going to do a bit more for these. I want to add some spray into them. So I think I might do a bit of salvage patina and see what happens there. Yeah, that's a bit different, like that. That one's curling up. It's quite a nice, so that's, oop, that was nearly on my best Marks and Spencer's winter top. There we go. I maybe should be wearing an apron with these sprays and not my favourite Marks and Spencer's warm top. There we go, and then this one, and then a bit of the Uncharted Mariner. I am liking that. Right, I'm going to put those on my little heat mat, and I just thought these would be nice if I stamped butterflies as well, but we're doing leaves, but I do have butterflies that I could do this on. A bit of mopping up here to do. I think I'm going to get another sheet, because I think that one's got quite a lot on it. So let's get another. Because you don't want to waste the ink. I mean, I did get a bargain with this ink, but I still don't want to waste it. Love it. I do love the fact that we've got an impression there where that leaf was. Yep, like that. And I think I'm going to do another one. I think these will make great backgrounds for tags and things. I might smush a bit. Yep, that's quite cool. Let's bring these back in, and I'm going to spray them with water. And then that activate that ink to give us another effect, and I can see differences happening there as I spray it with water. Love it. So now they just need drying off. And that one's quite blue. Oh, that one's quite blue there. So what I'm thinking on my wilted violet, I might just put some dots. Yep, like the way that's looking. And I might do some dots with this. Quite a different colour purple this. It's quite pinky actually. But that really bright pink, it actually doesn't stay that bright colour. It's, you can see that sort of disappearing there, and doesn't look that bright pink at all. So I've got a bit here to pick up. So it's pinker there. Do I want to add some water to that? Quite liking how it's looking actually, so I might just call that a day. So that is my leaves, so let's lay them all down. So fun with leaves. So that's our purpley ones, ready to use in some sort of purple journal. And then here's me more autumnal ones, which I have already used, and you've probably seen the videos of me using these in my autumn journal. So that was like 3 different kind of ways of adding colour to stamped die cut images. So thoroughly enjoyed playing with that lot. Hope that was giving you ideas. I don't mean you to go out and buy a load of product that you haven't got already, but you know, have a look at your other inks. So I've used water-based inks, I've used distress oxides, I've used distress oxide spray, I've used spray stain to create these effects, and water of course. So yeah, that's me done for today. So hope like that. Please give us a thumbs up, please give us a subscribe, and I'll see you all again very soon with something else.